Perfect timing. Hello, hello. Good evening, people. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, guys. I'm back for another stream of Plane Shift Development. Why not? I want to do a bit of bug fixing today, if possible. Well, I also want to continue on. Hello. To continue on the sounds and ambient effects, because anyway we are close to finish, and I think it would be nice to finish, so at least we archive that task and it's done. But at the same time, I also want to do a bit of bug fixing and additions where possible. So only us. Hello, Maui. Maybe yes. Usually it takes a bit to my indicators here to tell me exactly how many people are online. So it's a bit it's not very reliable. But like sometimes I see many people speaking on Twitch, and I still see a lower number, like 1 or 2. But it's okay. So I was looking at, just a few minutes ago, I was looking at a magical effect that we have in Jayo's library, which was missing, and I was just playing a bit with the different sparks that we may add, and at the end I think I found one which is pretty similar to what it is. Now I wanted to someone mentioned that the travel by Pterosaur is not working, because I tested it let's say a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, and he had some problems and I fixed them, and after that I was expecting it to be working, but maybe something happened in between, in the last few months, and maybe now it's not working again. So let me see who was saying that. Maybe we can check it, because that should work in theory. Is there a number of comparable blah blah? So about the Pterosaur was working 1 of 5 tries. 1 out of 5 tries. Don't understand too well what that means, but like what was happening the other time, the other 4 times. The picture did not vanish after the travel. I guess it was loading. Did you wait enough? It may just be loading, because when you are loading in a completely new area, it may take some time. It may take some time because when you are moving in the when you are walking, the engine is loading the items that are far on the horizon bit by bit, and so you don't really realize, but it's continuously loading. If you teleport yourself to a completely new location, like you do when you fly, he has to load everything in that area. I saw the scene in the background, but hidden behind the picture. If it was hidden behind the picture, how could you see it? But okay. I can put a kind of a progress bar, but the problem is that I don't know when it will stop because it's really dynamic. Depends on how much stuff is around, and so I don't know. Strange that he stopped, but anyway, it may happen. Let me just check one thing. So let's go under so under JOs, I wanted to load in JOs 1 second and ensure that we are oh wait, I didn't post on, I forgot few things, boys. I didn't post on Facebook and I didn't post on Twitter. My bad. Because some people are waiting that to join. Okay, I posted now. And also I didn't update the calendar. I will do it now. I'm doing it. 142, which is the number of the event. Boom. Okay. Okay, we did it. Yeah, I wanted to go. So, what? Why so slow? So I wanted to go wrong direction here, because I added this this effect, which I think is okay. I think we can use this one, which is very, very similar to the previous one, by the way. Very similar. The other point is that in this place there was an actual sound effect. So maybe we can, by the way, to the people that don't know how Iliacum is, you know, what is the geography, it is the exact picture of it. But so we should, you see that in JOs inside there is an environment magic tree. So there is a special effect. Now the special effect, what is it? I have no idea, but it's probably sound effect magic effects 3. Okay, sound effect magic 3. I think is one of the annoying ones, but probably is very low volume, and so at the end I think is okay. Magic effects 3. Yes, so we just need to be sure that this one is actually properly looping, and yes, it's looping at the moment. But also I would say the one that we place here should be quite low volume, so it's not, doesn't become annoying, right? Doesn't become annoying, and we need to be sure that so I would say probably 150 maximum, but even 100 maybe, even 100, and the range 100, so that you will hear it here, but not too much there. And we can lower the volume a bit. We can go with a volume multiplier of 0.5. I don't know. It needs to be tested, but it needs to be. I mean, we are in a library, so in theory, you know, it should be 0.4. It should be quiet, right? So I think even if there is a magic effect, should not be annoying to the people that are reading books, right? I guess so. Okay, I posted that now on the diff, so more people will join. Okay, so bug fixing. What do we want to fix? What do we want to fix? What do we want to fix? I mean, I can continue also with music, but the idea was to check some of the bugs, and like there is a new one that you posted, Maui, context menu NPC attack. Context menu. NPC have the attack option in the context menu that you cannot attack them. Well, in theory, it is working like in the old game. So, was it present in the old game or not? I mean, we can remove it, but also because now, you know, attack is done completely differently. So let's say that the icon has no meaning anymore, right? Because you cannot just press attack and attack. You have to actually go in combat mode with tab and then left click. So I would say that the attack icon is completely obsolete. So we can probably remove it. I'm thinking if there is any. Hello, Santiago. Hi. Thank you for the subscription on YouTube. Hello, welcome. If you have any questions on the game or on what we are doing, please. Do we need the attack for anything? That's the question. I think that we don't need the attack for anything else anymore. So, or we don't send it from the server directly, or we prevent it from the client. I think that probably the best would be to avoid it from the server. So if for any reason we want to re-enable it, we will be able to re-enable it without changing the client. That's probably the best idea. I think that the context menu is called interaction menu or something like that. Interact. There is something like interact, request interact something. Talk interaction, character detail, request item detail interaction, request interaction window. I think it's this one. Handle interaction window. Handle interaction window. So this should be deciding which items are showing up in the context menu. Yeah, so you see, for example, use but it is the item one though. Item interaction window. Well, there should be another one for NPC. I mean, pretty sure. Maybe it's not called interaction. Strange. Let me search for context. No, context is not here. Okay. So I have to go and check exactly how we did it, because so if I go under UI, game, Windows, and then I go no, should not go here. I should go under blueprint, PS character blueprint, and we can just check in the right click. I think it's the easiest. If we search the right click, which is somewhere here, right mouse click, okay. So if he's an NPC, show interact window. Show interact window. set up UI interact buttons. Are they fixed or what? Flags. Now you see that is coming from here. Show interact window. But with 0 flags, flag 0. I'm a bit confused about this. Context menu. So the flags are used only. The flags are used only for items. Okay, because probably for NPC. For NPC is probably a fixed menu. So what I wanted to do is not really possible. Yeah, is here. There is the attack. There is, yeah, basically, you know, there is no specific check on the attack. There is no specific check. I think we can remove it. I think at the moment we can just remove it. I don't know if there is any problem in removing it, like if there is something else that requires it, but for now we will just maybe we will put it here and we will say removed as attack should be started in combat mode now. Okay, so I will just remove the button. Unfortunately, this is a change that is on the client, and so it requires a new client update, unfortunately. But I mean, there is no other way for me to do it. So yeah, so we remove the attack interaction, so it doesn't exist anymore. So when you right click, you will not see the attack anymore. Okay, which is not I should, what I want to do, I want to change the status to fixed pending release, saying that the attack button is no more relevant in PS Unreal as we attack from combat mode and then you know, left click or whatever to attack. So not anymore through the icon, right? I don't know if there will be other cases where we need it through the icon, but I don't think so. I think it can be good as it is. Hello, host312. Hello, welcome. Hi. Thank you for the follow. So, okay, so this one I would say is fixed pending release. There was a very easy fix. It was like a 1 second fix, a 1 minute fix. Without a wait. This is a problem with Quest, but with Quest, I think if possible, I would like to give it to Vanillan or anyone else, or Tua, you know, someone else, not me. Day and night cycle in dungeons and cave. Yeah, this is actually a problem. I know. But you know what? I think that I already fixed this problem at least in one place with a bit of a trick, which is basically a box, and that place is the Black Flame area. No, sorry, that place is the Death Realm. Right, is a Death Realm. So maybe we can do this. We can test again if the trick works. The problem is that I think the directional light, I think I did 2 changes. I did one trick for let me remember, because I think I did few things. I don't remember if it was in the skybox or where the hell it was. Wow, that is everywhere. Combat message on that. BP Sky. Here it is. Yes. In the Death Realm, you see? In the Death Realm, Black Fog. In the Death Realm, Black Fog. DR01 branch. Sector client side. Set in fog scattering color. I think I did few tricks for the Death Realm. I did this trick of the fog. Then I did the indirect light. And then I did the directional light intensity 0.3. So actually I did 3 different tricks, right? 3 different tricks. Plus, I think I also placed the box around it, which at this point, I don't know though if it's making any difference. Yes, it's making a difference because it's an open, okay. So I think what we can do, you know what we can do? We can transform this function into something, more generic, right? That is by level. So I can probably do let me check. Player controller, set client side if equal to DR01 branch condition. Yeah, but when he's doing this in the apply, yeah? So when he's adapting to the new location, which may be okay because you will probably be loading. I mean, in the Death Realm works because you will probably be loading. In other areas, I don't know. It may work so, but hello, Ulla. Hi. But I think anyway, it's something we need to do. Something we need to do. I don't understand too much why this is setting this to black. And then he's skipping this wall thing. Holy moly. So I need more than that, huh? I need more than that. Okay, let me try to collapse this. So I need three different functions which are changing. So we will have a function called fog. No, let's call it dark sector fog. Okay, dark sector fog, so that we can apply to all the sectors that we don't want to, because the caves, for example, the caves is exactly the same. Okay, so there are a number of sectors that have the same problem, right? Now the only problem will be how much time it will take to him to actually adapt the light to the new scenario, right? Because he's doing it kind of slowly, but I think that I cannot really fix. Hello, Sean. Hey. Hello, Tony. Welcome. So I think we will do this. We will put into this one sector client side. In output, I don't need it, but I need a return value that is telling me if I need to skip. Yes, if I need to, I mean, if he's one of the dark ones, right? So I think that is the return value. It should be is a dark is a dark sector, right? Is a dark sector. And let me recompile. There is another change, unfortunately, it is incompatible with the current client, so I will have to release in sector, release a new client for this to actually happen, but it's okay. So basically what we want to do, we want to take this thing, and actually the in sector is no, sorry, the sector because we did the same trick. Yes. So no, we don't need it. We don't need it outside. The good news is that we don't need it outside, and so we don't need it here because we derive it from, so we don't need it even here. We derive it from player controller. So we get the client sector from here. But then we need it for the fog, right? For the fog, we need to so if it's true there is a dark sector, we skip this part, right? We skip this part and we set the fog inside of this to black, right? Now the fog to black may be doing more than what we want, in the sense that a black fog is anyway accumulating, and so if you are looking at something which is very far away, it will look dark. But I think that for all the sector that I'm thinking, so which are caves, Death Realm, Black Flame, and sewers, I think is anyway fine. Maybe the only one that is a bit different is the sewers, where we want, where probably we want the fog not to be black. But I think with this technique, which is a bit of a trick, but with this technique we can choose, right? We can choose. Maybe, you know what we can do? I think we can, since we have 3 values, instead of doing three functions which are scattering a bit the logic, we can have one function only, and we can use fog. Let me see what we have. We have fog, fog, and then we have indirect light, and then we have directional light. I think that these are the only 3. Yeah, these are the only 3 that we have. So maybe we can just pass a parameter and do everything in that function. I think would be a bit, I think would be easier, you know. The only question is which parameter we want to pass in. One question: can you make an online game only by using Blueprint, like Plane Should EverQuest, or is something kind of, let's say that it really depends. It really depends on how many players and how many functions you have. But in general, I would not recommend it. I would recommend to keep the server side in C++. But there are some examples. For example, they are saying that Conan Exile, I'm not sure because I don't have a proof of that. But they say that it's all done in blueprints. Now, is it true? Is it not true? I have no idea. I think they are saying that Conan Exile has been done completely in blueprints, but personally I have no idea. I have no information about it. But there are some games that they are saying use the blueprints in a very large way, right? In a very big way. Do we create just a small enumeration? Maybe we create a small enumeration. and we call it something like sector, just to be a bit more clean than, you know. So let me go under data, and we create an enumeration here. Enumeration is under blueprints, strangely enough, right? Enumeration is under blueprints, which is a bit weird, but that's what it is. So we'll call it E, and then we call it dark sector. No, not dark sector, no. Let's call it sector light types, or sector ambient light changes. Sector ambient light. Okay. Let's call it sector ambient light. I mean, it's not probably the best with this name, but yeah, it's okay. So the first one will be, we said what? We said fog. So the color of the fog. So we will call it fog color. And then the second one, we will call it indirect light. And the third one, we will call it direct light. Okay. Which are the three things that we want to influence, right, with this. Okay. The description, I think, are exactly the same. I think I already typed them properly. So the description is the same. And okay, so now we have our enumeration. And so I think in inputs, I can put my ambient light parameter. Yeah, maybe parameter would have been a good idea. Ambient light, sector ambient light. Okay. So we do that. And so we can switch, right? We can switch on this, and we can go. How do you do the transition between a dark sector and a regular one? Look, is there a transition or just switching from one frame to the next? Well, in theory, our lights are always adapting slowly to the new situation. So it's never a, you know, an immediate transition, right? So we apply, there is a kind of a lerp, you know, a kind of a function that is that knows where it is now and where it needs to be, and then is slowly transitioning, right? The only problem is that it's done based on the sector, and this means that if you move quickly between one sector and another, back and forth, I mean, the result may be a bit weird, right? But I don't really care. I mean, it's not too much of an issue, I would say. We need to see how it looks, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. Okay, so what do we do? We say, so this will be a bit easier, right? Because we can just say fog color, right? So here I would say check dark sectors. No, let's say modify fog for dark sectors. Yeah, something like that. Modify fog for fog color for dark sectors. In this case, will be as simple as that now, because we have everything in the function. And so we can now expand, you know, here the list and say, also if it's this sector, or this sector, go and do it. The only problem is that we are comparing to strings, which is kind of annoying. But for now, I think I will leave with that. It will be better to compare to an integer or something, which is the more of the sector ID and not the sector name. But let's say that we do this kind of frequently, because this is done actually in the apply function, which is happening every few seconds. But yeah. Yeah, it's probably not the best, but sending the ID, I think is kind of annoying at the moment, because I don't have it and I have to send it from the server and blah blah blah. So, but so we do this, then this is not needed anymore, and then we arrive here where we will use the same function, which will not be called anymore dark sector fog, but will be called dark sector parameters, right? And these dark sector parameters will be applied also here. We have the same branch. Because we will exit with this. And so the branch is still valid. The only difference is that this will go inside of our function. Yeah. These two lines. But anyway. Yeah, because it's keeping the light intensity. It was a bit of a trick that I did. And so in this case it would be indirect light. So if we have indirect light, we need to do this. Maybe we can do this check one time only instead of doing it 3 times though. Because at the moment we are doing this check 3 times. And it's very stupid to do it 3 times. Even if, you know, this kind of check allows us maybe to change things between sector here, because like I want maybe that realm to have this fog and another one to have another kind of fog. Yeah, probably it's better somehow to leave it inside of this, but we can definitely do it before yes and no. I mean, for now, yes, because they are all the same. If I have to change it in the future, this piece can go after. For now, let's just do it like this, and we will basically have a list, okay? So we'll say if this is equal to this, or this is equal to this, or this is equal to this, or, and we will have a big list, I guess, right? We will have a big list because we have a lot of sectors that in theory should be dark, and they don't have to be affected by direct light. And we will think which ones in a second, okay? At the moment, I don't know. So let's say that if we are not in any of those, we just return false, right? Because this will not be a dark sector. So if this returns, this is negative, is none of those, right? If it's none of those, then we can just return. And we can return a negative value. So we do nothing and we say, no, we are not a dark sector, right? If we are a dark sector, then we, in this case, apply the fog, and then we return dark sector true. In this case, apply a different skylight and say dark sector true. And in the last case, which is here, right? It's pretty much the same thing. So it's pretty much the same thing. So we do that. We do this. we remove this, which is not relevant anymore, and we take this one and we move it. We take this one and we move it inside our function with a different directional light, right? And then we flag. Now this one probably we want to change by sector. Most likely is very possible. I don't know yet, but it's very possible that that needs to change. Yeah, kind of, yes. So if this is the case, that we are in a dark sector, then we skip and we go down there. Otherwise, we continue, right? We continue straight. So here, I think I need to put the same description, which is modify blah 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 for dark sectors. So modify indirect light for dark sectors, and modify direct light for dark sector. Whatever, this one is wrong because you should go in direct light. Okay. Okay. I think that is good. I can save it. Not using fname for that purpose. It's kind of the purpose why fname exists. I never understood fname too much. Fname is a string, you know? I mean, it's an extended string with more. Maybe you mean a tmap or something, because fname, to my knowledge, is just a name. I mean, it's just a different way of managing strings that is used for widget mostly. Would it be better to put a dark sector flag in the database instead of hardcoding it? Maybe, but changing the database is a lot of work, because we need to change all the loading, and we need to propagate it. Yeah, maybe, but it's a lot of work. And also, I don't even know if this is the right way yet, so I will see how it looks, and if it's not enough, maybe we need to do something different. Because basically we need, when the player is, maybe we need some post processors or something. Okay. I don't know how people do normally, because people don't have sectors, okay, because we invented sectors. So people don't have it. So how they change lights, how they nullify, you know, how they nullify real engine indirect light, let's say nullify maybe is not the best search, but in a certain area. So how do they nullify the indirect light in a certain area? How do they do it? Because I think it's a normal question, right? Fname just comes out as a string, so you populate it as a string. You cannot put a, I don't think you can create an fname but maybe you can make an fname with int. No. I don't know. You see, make literal name. You just put a string into it. You cannot put also an integer. So you cannot really make it as an integer. I don't know. I always seen it as a string. I never seen it as an integer. And I don't know how to set it. But how can people set, you know, how can people make an area dark if they're not using sector? Maybe they're using triggers. So that if you enter in a certain area, you know, if you are entering a certain area, they will lower the So none of these topics is what I'm asking. I don't know this question. I think because people with Unreal Engine are basically using everything dynamic, and they are probably not using global direct lights. They are probably just going for a full dynamic local lights. I don't know. Hello, Lucy. Good evening to you. So it's very puzzling how they can do it with a large world, but maybe they have some tricks. Maybe they use tricks like I'm doing with sectors. Maybe they use the same tricks. I think that to me, the more Unreal Engine way of doing it will be to have, like if you're in this area and you have a post-process volume, so you want that inside of this building, because I have the same problem inside buildings, right? Inside buildings, I don't want the indirect light to be, or the direct light to be actually affecting the ambient so much, right? I'm thinking, but I think I have exactly the same problem, right? I think the difference with buildings is that buildings actually have a roof. And so having a roof is for sure blocking the direct light, and potentially the indirect one is not that strong. And anyway, considering that this is a place that is exposed to the outside, if it's day anyways, getting a bit more indirect light even in the inside, I think will not be a problem, right? But if this is a completely closed, like without windows, like this one is pretty much without windows, right? So if it was a completely dark room without windows, I think there would be a problem, because the indirect light would still be present, right? Would still be present, and it would look weird, because it would look that this room would be slightly lit, even if should not be, right? Now this is not my case. I don't think I have any rooms that I really want to be completely black, that they are, in a place like this. But I have certain sectors, yes, that are completely black, and there is the trick that I'm putting in place now to have them look black, right? But is this really the right way to do it? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, the first thing I want to see is that I didn't break anything, so that for our death realm, we are still working. I mean, everything is still working as expected, right? So I'm just checking if so fog color out, true is going down, false is going straight, indirect light, true is going here, false. Wait, was that the opposite? Yeah. True is skipping, so true is skipping, yes, true is skipping, and false is going straight. Wow, was better before. Yeah. And then here the same, true is skipping, and false is going straight into that, and this is direct light. Okay, I think at the moment it should work exactly the same. Now let's try maybe with at least one other sector. I think we can take the black flame, because the black flame was one that I was kind of worried about because it was really looking weird during the day. And I think we can extract the map again because we need it. We can revert that commit. Black flame revert, yes. So I'm basically just re-downloading the level. It's an easy way to re-download the level. And so we are gonna put into but black flame sector probably is not defined. That's a good question, because we need to have black flame defined here, otherwise we never work, boys. Black flame, I don't see it. Black flame number 80. Everything is 0 for black flame. Why? Everything is 0 for black flame. That's not good. Everything is 0 because this is the dummy database. Let me just check 1 second. In production, which is not exactly in production, but I mean, yes, it's also 0000. I'm zeroing this out myself, or what? Why I'm zeroing this out and where I'm zeroing that out? Yes, because I'm adding it here to the table, and the default is 000, so that's why. So everyone that is not explicitly set will be 000. Okay, makes sense. I think is good enough. I think is good enough. Okay, so following our logic, okay, is okay. So what we need to do, following our logic, is after BD road 2, we need a black flame sector. And the black flame sector will have something like this, where ID is equal to 80, like we said. Yes, is equal to 80. The priority, being a sector which is without subsectors in its own place, I think that we can leave priority 1, right? We just need to fix the safe location, and we need to fix the borders. So to do that, the only thing that I'm very happy about is that these things will never change again, right? So these are settings that we do once, and then the levels will stay there forever. So luckily, we will not have to go crazy and changing them more. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to go top, I guess. And I want to take this. What is this, by the way? Skylight. Okay. And then I need one object just to, okay, this one is okay. Just to move it Why I cannot move it? Why there is no, wait, don't understand. Why there is no widget to move it? Is it positioned in a kind of a weird way? Probably. Bro, there is no widget to move it. What the fuck? I'm pressing G. Because I'm not in the right mode? No, I'm in the right mode. What I'm doing wrong? What I'm doing wrong, my friends. What I'm doing wrong. Okay. I mean, he doesn't want to do it. I don't know. Okay, now it appeared again with a bit of a back and forth. Okay, now it appeared again. I don't know. He had a moment of confusion, but now it's back. Okay, so what I need to do is very simple. I need to define that everything that is inside of this area which basically is between this number, black flame, yes, between this number and this number and this number and this number is the black flame sector. Okay. Okay. And then I need to decide also a safe location. I think a safe location can just be the start. So we can put it here. So the safe location will be black flame safe location will be this and this. The safe location is, I mean, for whatever reason your game fucks up and you fall down, you whatever, this is where you will be respawned. Okay. So it's safe in that sense. Okay, now we need to execute this on my database, the dummy one. So we will do update sectors, assuming that my database is the default. And we execute as a script. Okay, so now if I refresh this, okay, now it's correct. With priority 1. Okay, so basically now if you go to the black flame, we will know that we are in the black flame and the game will know that we are there, right? I'm sorry to speak so openly about such a god like the black flame, which should not be named, but that's what I have to do as a developer. Okay, so now so assuming that now we have the proper sector definition and the proper boundaries, I can go here and say, hey, also if it's a black flame, right? Also if it's a black flame, I want this to be right, and I think I can leave these two open with or and nothing, so that they are false. So if this is named black flame, then we will go, is this ignore case or what? Equals ignore case, please. Equals ignoring case, better. Even if I'm typing them right, but think it's always better, you know, to have case insensitive, so to be sure that we are not making our life harder. What happened? No, please, don't crash. No. Uh-oh, he froze. The editor froze. Sometimes he's coming back. I don't know what he didn't like. Holy shit. He basically crashed and recovered. Yeah. Someone is keeping another reference to S graphic pin. So he had an issue with a pin that was not valid anymore. I don't know. But anyway, in these two cases, we do the thing. Okay, so let's try to test it and see. So I will start the server and the client. I will start the server and the client. I think the best would be anyway to use a kind of a visual thingy, but I mean, probably the best would be to actually use a kind of a volume, you know, to define the sector visually, and then to put a parameter on that volume that says if it's dark sector or not dark sector. But yeah, that probably would be cleaner than what I'm doing now. But it's okay. It's okay. Is streaming maps, so we need to wait that. We need to wait a bit of streaming maps. Okay. We have a lot of problems to fix with this skybox, by the way, because the skybox is not transitioning well from the horizon down, and that's a problem in many cases. By the way, graphics, you know, graphics are not our #1 priority in general, so in this game, right? So we should fix the big things, but the small ones, I think we can avoid, because there is so much else to do, you know, than just this. So, like the initialization of the character at the beginning. But okay, so if I die, or if I just teleport to the Death Realm, which is also a possibility, we just need to check that I didn't break anything, right? So that when I'm going there, do I have that realm here? No, I don't have it. No, I should put them alphabetically though, because otherwise, as I add more stuff, I think it will be very hard to find things, right? Also, I should probably put shortcuts in my game, but because I can create shortcut. No, we don't have the Death Realm, so at the moment I think we'll just try to die and see what happens. I'm dead. Oh fuck, we don't have the Death Realm. GG. Okay, we need to go to the Black Flame then, because the Death Realm, I don't have it. I don't have it loaded, so it will go like this forever. Okay, let's go in the Black Flame and we will test the Death Realm later. It seems it's loading something. As it looks like. Okay, so basically as soon as I jump in, the sector will change, and so also the ambient light should change, right? At least that's the idea. I still hear the freaking birds. I don't know if this is because the black flame has no definition of any sound and any sound doesn't stop the previous ones. Yeah, this is a check that we should do. If we define the sector with no sounds, it should stop the previous. And I think at the moment it's not doing it. This is something we need to remember. This is something we needed to remember or just to do it immediately. Because at the moment we are receive background music. Yeah, exactly. Trying to play music for unknown sector. Well, no, this is not exactly the problem. The problem will be not the unknown sector, but the fact that the ambience... wait, it's not here though. Receive background music on client. Receive weather event. Where is the ambient music? Fuck. Ambience music is here in theory, no? Wait a second. Probably we do it in the skybox. I know we do it in player controller. I don't know why I have one on player controller and one on player. It's so super weird, but okay. If the current ambience is valid and is different, we fade out 50-50, but yeah, in theory, if the current ambience is different than the chosen ambience, right? And different being null, it should be different. It should automatically fade out, right? So why it didn't do it? Why I still hear the birds? In theory, we should have had an ambience new play. We should have had an ambience new play. Ambience new play. And it doesn't tell me which one, but actually we had it, so. It's kind of strange. Fade out. I still hear the birds, so okay, anyway, one thing at a time. But that's broken anyway. It's broken because I should not hear the birds here, obviously. Okay, but let me do the other check. So now, in theory, we have... I mean, black is pretty black, but we want to be sure that if I'm going midday, time set, for example, 12, right? The area should not become lighter. Okay. It seems to be working. Because the area is not becoming lighter. Right? While if I go for example in the sewers, you know, or in another place. Yesterday it was becoming light. Okay, yesterday as soon as I was changing this time, it was become. Now if I go deep night like 200, is it gonna change anything? In theory not. No, I think it stays dark, which is nice. Okay, so it seems that it worked. Now, to really prove that it worked, we should, in theory, do this. Let me do it just because I'm a bit paranoid. But if we go here, right, and we remove this black flame, right? And we remove black flame and we redo the same test. And we redo the same test. In theory, it will become brighter when it's day, right? Yes. But I think that is a good way anyway. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's a good way. If it works, I think it's an okay way. The only problem is the transition. Okay, so there will be a second in which it's still bright, right? It's still bright, and then it becomes dark. That's the only problem. If you are teleporting quickly into this area from a very bright area, there can be that kind of effect because the transition to another sector is not instant. Okay, so it's done on a 5 seconds basis. So it will take 5 seconds and then it will go dark. But it's also true that people usually don't teleport, right? Okay, so if I'm here now and I go day, you see that it's darker than before. I think it's darker than before because we are at night. Yes, you see? You see that during the day, everything is lit up in an unnatural way, right? This is exactly the effect that we want to avoid. Now, in this particular level, I think it's not too bad because it's affecting mostly the ground, right? It's not affecting much anything else, but still the point stands, right? That if we want this thing to be dark, we don't want during the day or during the night to make a difference. Okay, so now I'm going night again. It will take a bit, but it will fade out, right? It will fade out. So okay, so the fix actually works. Now the fix for the sound, I will do it a bit later, otherwise I'm jumping between one topic and the other and I may do stupid things. So this actually works. So as long as we have the proper definition of the sector, this properly works. Now the bug report, unfortunately, I think was also about the sewers. Sewers, we have another problem because yeah, caves, dungeons, and subsurface area. Caves is easy because caves I can teleport myself to the caves and we can have the same check and it will work fine because it's a completely separate sector. Unfortunately, dungeons have the issue that they are on the vertical, and on the vertical I have a problem. On the vertical I really have a problem. But maybe we can think about something. Okay, let me try the caves. I think all the caves I actually defined properly in terms of database definitions. You know what? I think I should execute. The whole set of definitions that I put here. Right? I should execute all of that because I did a lot of changes, and I'm not sure that all these changes actually went through. So we're just going to, okay, execute all of this and execute all of this. The additional sectors I placed already, so okay. So at least we have the proper definition. Now the caves are 76, 75, and 16, right? So actually the proper names are this. So I need to put these names into my thingy, but I also need to download the cave map again because I think I don't have it. And I don't know if I have a way to teleport there, but okay, I don't think we need to test them all. We have seen that it works, so I think we can put it in and we can test it as we go. Okay. So we will have the 3 caves. We will have the 3 caves, and the 3 caves are this. And the problem is that this ore will become pretty big because we have a lot of underground and well, a lot. No, not a lot, but anyway, we have some underground. And the good news is that as soon as it triggers one, I hope it doesn't read all the others, right? So if we catch the first one that we catch, we exit from the ore. But it will be at least these caves for sure. And then there will be yeah, and then I have the problem of the dungeons and the sewers. There I have a bit of an issue. Because those sectors are vertical in respect to Idla, and that's a problem. Because this is a problem that we didn't solve yet, and I don't know if I want to solve it now, but this is a problem we didn't solve yet. So at the moment our sector definition is only X and Y. It doesn't take the Z into account. But that's very annoying because the main city, he has so much of that. What do you mean dirty level? Save what you need to save. If you need to save it, save it. Ah, because I did the... Okay, no, don't save it then. Don't save it. I didn't do any change. Wait. Procedure button, yes. Yeah, the main city has so much of that. As you can see, there is the whole underground, and all this underground in theory needs to be dark, right? I mean, not affected by the daylight. And there are 2 problems with the daylight. One is the fog, well, 3 problems: the fog color, the direct light, and the indirect light. Now, I'm not too concerned about the indirect light, but the direct light definitely is so strong, right? It's so strong that makes everything bright if we don't fix it. So the idea would be to make one side, and the same for all this dungeon below the city, right? The idea would be to make a or we make a sector, or we do something very, very dirty. I'm thinking to make something super dirty, you know, super dirty, like infinite dirty. But fuck, is not always the case, because this part of the city, oh my god, that's a problem, because this part of the city is lower than the upper part of the city, but is at the same level of the sewers. No, because otherwise I could just, you know, hard code a specific value and say, if you are in Idla, you know, if you are in Idla and you are below this range, then in reality you are in the sewers. So I could have faked it that way, but I cannot really do it because the city is split into two parts: the lower city and the upper city. So basically we have a line like this, and then it goes down a bit, and then it goes straight. So this is the upper city, this is the lower city, and unfortunately our sewers are here and here, right? So I really need to implement the freaking vertical thing. Can Google help for the underground light problem? Hey, maybe. I searched a bit, but I didn't find too much. I can search more, but basically we need to change, you know, we need to change the direct light in underground areas. So how do I do that? This I think is a good question. This I think is similar to what I want to say. Because this guy is saying the directional light is shining through the landscape, and obviously it is. Dynamic directional light is shining through landscape, blah blah blah, and yes, because directional light doesn't have a position. Directional light is everywhere. So you can do whatever you want, but shadow two-sided, far shadow, use two-sided lighting. I think these guys are speaking about something else. But he said his light is coming through the landscape only in certain places. I mean, how is it possible? How is it possible? Because directional light, you know, directional light has no position to my knowledge, right? So you can position the directional light wherever you want and it will still be the same. I mean, I can move the directional light whenever I want, right? I can put it at, fuck this thing. I can put it wherever I want, even underground. It will make zero difference. Because direction, yeah, now is underground, for example, right? And you see that it's still lighting my city, even if it's below ground. So directional light doesn't have a position. It's just that the direction is pushing through, right? But it doesn't have a position. So I don't understand why this guy is saying directional light. So or he's using a different type of directional light, or is not working as expected, right? They're discussing so much, but yeah, there is an answer that has been chosen, but what is the solution? I don't get the answer. Yeah, exactly. So they are discussing about something completely different, which is now unrelated to the original question, unfortunately. Underground lighting. Underground lighting. I have a complex that is supposed to be completely underground. This complex is supposed to be secret. Blah blah blah. How do I release the lightning with no directional light actor and without having so many points? Yes, but I think this guy wants to do only underground, right? This guy is doing only underground. We have a mix. We have above and below ground. So I don't think there is an easy solution. I don't think there is an easy solution. I don't see it anywhere in the freaking. I think their answer will be remove the directional light. And so I think that my solution is probably the best at the moment. So I change the color of the directional light when you are inside a specific sector, right? Which is exactly what what we need to do. I think is the only solution that I know. The problem is here. The problem is that in this area we are not in another sector. In this area we are not in another sector. Fuck the city going down. It's so annoying that the city is going down, because otherwise I had my solution. Maybe I can do another dirty trick. That can be that I divide the city in two sectors, which actually are identical when above ground, but underground they are different, right? I think I will have to do that anyway, because we have this transition of height. You see this transition of height, which is basically here, which forces us, right? Which forces us to have, I'm moving too much, I know. Which forces us to have anyway two sectors. Or even three, because actually there are three, or even four. Because you see that this one is very low. And then there is another level here, and then another level here. So actually there are four different height of the city. Now, it's also true that at this level, there is probably nothing underground. No, there is this underground. There is this underground. Holy fuck. Well, I can have another trick. Okay. Another trick will be to have a portal. To have an invisible portal, which is actually changing the directional light underground. Right? Because in reality, you can enter the sewers only from 3 places, I think, or 4 places. So I can put an invisible portal that when you go through it, right? For example, here. I'm moving so quick. So here is the entrance, right? This is one of the entrances. So I could put a portal here, or even maybe, yeah, I think here, something like this. And when you go through it, it's changing the directional light. Now, the problem is that I will have to detect the direction. So if you are coming down the stairs or going up the stairs. It is really not an easy problem to solve. If you use the polygon sector system, you only need 2 additions to this support area. First, add an optional Z min and Z max value. Second, allow sector to have more than 1 polygon. No, I don't think we need that. I don't think we need the second thingy. I think I can just, you know, I have 2 sectors which have exactly the same characteristics, right? Above ground. So I'm doing this already in other places, right? Where I have, like if you look at the outdoors, you know, maybe there are 2 sectors, one next to each other. I don't know, this one and this one, which have the same music, the same ambience, the same everything. So for the game makes no difference. You have 2 sectors that are one next to each other that are, yes, different, but at the same time, they have the same characteristics. So that's perfectly fine with us, right? So for the upper city, let's say for the upper city, if I have a sector, like this, right, and then a sector like this, which are perfectly adjacent, and they have the same music, the same ambience. I mean, for the player, will be no difference. One will be called La Plaza 1 and the other is La Plaza 2, but it's the same. So I think that's already solved by itself. The only problem is the Z, right? Because I will have somehow, you know, to split. For example, the problem is this area here, which is a bit of a mix. So there can be areas where maybe that freaking corridor, you know, is going between the city. So, or there can be area like this one, which is basically a dungeon going down. And so, but I would say that all this part is not a problem. If there is some ambient light coming from the outside, considering that it's open, I think it's perfectly fine. The problem is that when we start to be below this level, right, where here you have very little light coming in theory from the outside, from the top. So I think that yes, we can have our Z, you know, which is at this level, and we cut off the thingy, and we cut off the thingy. So I will have to design. It's very annoying though. Anyway, the problem is, how do I do it in a way that I know that is correct? Because I have to take a million measurement here. Look, and there There are sewers that are going through the city. They are going through the city. So this will not be a square, you know. So the problem is that, yeah, it needs to be a kind of a so it must be a polygon, yes. It must be a polygon. It's a fucking mess. Yes. Anyway, it's a polygon with a Z. Is a number, is a polygon with a Z. Is a polygon with a Z. Is a polygon with a Z. I'm trying to analyze the cases because I think it's a bit annoying. And it's only in this city, by the way, because in the other city we didn't do anything so crazy. But for example, here, you know, you are inside a temple, so so this will already count as minus. But I think it's good though, because this one is completely underground and he has no window. So even if this part, by the way, this part I think doesn't exist in game, because this doors has always been closed. But there is actually a room here, boys. Yeah, but I think that, for example, if this one is not affected by daylight, I think it's okay, because it's so deep and there are no windows at all, that even if I cut the Z and I include this in, I think it's fine, right? So basically all this area must be one sector. All this area going down. All this area going down. Now, where we start to have trouble is, okay, at the arena we don't have a lot of trouble. I think it's okay. I think there is only one point that is very problematic, which is this freaking junction here of the sewers. This one, only this part, which is kind of very, 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 very close to the city, if not even into it, right? But I think if I cut off again at that level, if I cut off at that level, yeah, because here there is another problem. Fuck. The Windowless Tower. The Windowless Tower is a tower with no windows, except this, well, we can say that the light comes from here and fuck it. Maybe we can avoid this one, but from here down, I mean, I can try a certain height and see what happens, you know. I think it's probably the easiest way. I think I can try a certain height and a certain polygon. A certain height and a certain polygon. This is so annoying, boys. We have no idea how annoying is this thing. Because I think it will work. No, but I think at the end it will work. I just need to find... Okay, so I think that the pivot of our discussion is this junction. Okay, so the height will be the pivot of this. So the height will be pretty much here. So it will be 11,536. Okay. So let's say underground Hydla, right? So the Z The Z must be this. The Z must be this. You know what also I can do? I can play with priorities in the sense that I can put my Z level in a higher priority, so it's analyzed first, right? Starting from the bottom going up, so I can have only one Z instead of having min and max. I don't know if that helps me or not, but anyway, logically the algorithm would work if I use the priority. You know, if I use a priority and I say the underground sector, which is this one, is priority 1 in these coordinates, right? And in this Z, where the Z starts, do I want to say below a certain Z, or do I want to say? Yeah, I think I can say below a certain Z with priority going up, right? So this one will be priority 1, this one will be priority 2, and when I say below a certain Z, it will work. Can you check the tunnel? No, but the tunnel is in another area, I guess, right? So it will be cut off from the side, I think, because the tunnel in the arena. The tunnel in the arena is here, and is below. But I think that here I will have another sector. I think for all the lower city, which starts the lower city. But I will have another I must have another sector, otherwise this part of the city will be underground, will be considered underground, right? So I need to cut off. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, boys. It's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess because you see that this freaking thing is really going through. It's really going through. So I need. I think I need multiple sectors. I need this one, which okay has that height, but is also stopping here where these houses are. Otherwise these houses will be included. Or I do the polygon thingy. Yeah, I think I need to do the polygon thingy. I think I need a polygon here, and I need to exclude that part. So the polygon can go around this at that same height, right? Then it can go down here, and then it will go this way, and it will close like this. So this will be one polygon, right? This will be one polygon, and it will basically take all this area down from that height. I think it's okay. Okay, let me try to draw the polygon and we see, okay, because otherwise it's too hard. I cannot think about it. It's too many variables. So let's go 1 second in the persistent level, right? And in persistent level we drop a spline, or maybe we just copy one that we already have, which may be simpler. We have a spline arena, for example. So let me duplicate this one. Edit. I cannot do it. Edit, duplicate. Okay, so this will be sector spline Hidla. Now let's call it under Hidla, okay? Under Hidla, whatever it is. Okay. Actually, it will be under Hidla 1 because because it will pay. Okay, so under idler 1. Now this guy, will have to go. So let me try to see where he needs to go. We said that the Z needs to be, am I moving the wall spline? Yes, I am. We said that the Z needs to be at this level. So let's put the sector at this level. So at least we see, okay. So this is the height. So we also see what is actually covering, right? So I think that in this area, it can take pretty much everything. So here we have no underground, but there we have underground and we need to reach it. So we need to reach that underground. So all this underground, I think it should be included. All this underground needs to be included. So yeah, so all of that, I can go the opposite way to see it. Okay, if I go like this, or I can go in top view, but in bottom view, I mean, if I go in bottom view, I will see it. But yes, you see, so this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning. So so all of this is good. How do I move in this direction? All of this is good, and all of that is good until we arrive under the temple. I think it's okay to arrive under the temple, because we said that anyway, even if we cut off a piece of the temple, we are fine. Because that's underground compared to the temple, and you see that our line though, fuck. No. Fuck. The problem is that this area is lower. This area of the city is lower, so no, unfortunately, we need to cut off. I think we need to cut off here where the city. I think we need an higher city and a lower city cut off, because here is not gonna work. This thing. Fuck it. I cannot go that deep. I cannot go that deep. Or we split only this part. Or we split until here. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy, but I think we can probably split. Then we need to split until here, because otherwise, if you go more to the left, is we are hitting the high ground. I mean the above ground, so we cannot. So let me try like this and like this and like this. Okay, so we don't need this thing to go more than that, because we are already covering the majority of this area. So up to here is okay. Then up to here. What is going on? This is the end. This is the end. Fuck. But it's okay. It's okay. We can add. Maybe we can add another vertex. I don't know why he's creating like crazy tangent like that. He's creating like crazy tangents, but okay. So all this area will be included, which is good, which is anyway the highest part of the sewers. So I think it's good that we cut it off. This will be one sector, and it will be cut off. And I think that here we can even, you know, we can even, what the hell happened, by the way? He went so far away. Come on, I want only this one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and the tangent went like Jesus places. Okay, so this one I think can easily be like this and take all this area, which I think is good, and then finish here. Okay, and this will be like one sector, and this will be, now if we can do it a bit more, you know, respecting the divisions of the yeah, but here we'll cut off this thing. Yeah, but these two sectors will have the same characteristics, so we don't care. Even if we don't cut off perfectly. Yeah, the problem is that if you don't cut off perfectly, then in between it will be in no sector, and that is a problem. And that is really a problem. Yeah, so we need to be sure that when we cut off perfectly straight, and we cut off perfectly straight also in the other sector, so that there is no gap, right? There is no gap. So I think we need to do something like this. So we cut off this one, but then we will have another sector which is exactly, you know, the copy of this, and it will start from here. Okay, so this sector will go down. This sector will go down and will cover all this area. Okay, so I think I can delete this node and this node because I don't need them. And the sector will close itself straight here, right? Okay, so this will be one sector. Basically, this sector is covering the most annoying part, I think, because it's the one that is more integrated with the city, is including the wall dungeon, or anyway, a big part of the dungeon. No, the wall, unfortunately not, but the wall, no, because okay, but anyway, this will be one sector. Now I need another sector, which is starting from this one, is from when this one is finishing, right? So I need to duplicate again, and this will be under idler number 2, right? And this one will have to start. I don't know if I can mirror it horizontally, but probably not. But we can have the points snapping maybe, because I will need what? I think we can go, you know what we can do? We can take the X of this one, because this one in theory can extend like this. And I can make this 3 point having exactly the same X. Actually, I think I can delete the point in the middle here. How do I do it? Can I dissolve? Is there a dissolve vertex? Delete spline point. Okay, perfect. It did it. It did exactly what I wanted to do. So these 2 points, I think, can have the same X. You know, like 175, 205. 175, 205. How is it possible that it already has the same? I don't know, but for some reason it does. So then we have a clean cut, right? We have a clean cut. And this other spline will we'll use the same technique. So it will have exactly, fuck, because this is not the coordinate of the point. It is the coordinate of the spline, I think. Right? Yes, fuck. Wait, maybe if I click here, I can see the coordinates of the point. Ah, yes, it's below here. Is position. Selected point position. Yes, yes, is here. I have to look at this one and not at this one. I have to look at this one and not at this one. So this one needs to be right, this value, and this one needs to be okay. So now is a straight line, at least compared to the x. Now now in this other one, I want the x to be the same. Oops, I fucked up. I want this x to be the same. Why is not working? Position x. That is the x, right? Why this x is not corresponding to this x? Is it relative to the, oh my god, if it's relative to the position, if it's relative to the position of the spline, I'm fucked, huh? Unless there is a snap, but I think it's unfortunately is relative to the position of the spline, because no, yes, for sure it is. Okay, so you cannot really copy this value to make it the same. You cannot. You can just go there manually and put him in the same spot, which is very annoying, but I think this is what we're gonna do, like this. So we just put it exactly in the same place. I mean, this thing once it's done once, again, it's done forever. So that's the good part, but I would say it's kind of annoying. So I need this second point. What the fuck is that? Is a kind of complex. Is this the last point of the spline or what? No, it's not. So in theory there is another point that is going there, right? Yes, exactly, that one. That we need to be on top of that one, so that they are coincident, right? So we need this one to go exactly where this one is. Obviously we have geometry on top, so we don't see it, but now if it's not perfect, I think will not make a lot of difference, but let's say it needs to go there, okay? It needs to go there. So now we have okay. The big issue is that here the city is going again to another level down. But wait. But we didn't move yet our spline. We didn't move yet our spline down, huh? Are we moving the wall spline here? No, we are not moving the wall spline. So if I move the wall spline now that I have the same, you know, the same vertical point, right? I have the same vertical point, so I can actually cut off. So it is basically a cut off. I can go down quite a bit. I can go down up to yes, up to here. Can go down up to here, and at this point I can go all around this dungeon, considering that I cut off I cut off this one there. Yes, but I think it's okay, kind of okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think it should be fine. And from here, right? And from here, I can continue. I can go now. Yes, I can go to the left as much as I want because it's not a problem anymore. So now I can include the wall, this wall part, right? And I can include, let me delete this point, and I can include this wall part. I don't have any problem. So I can go down as much as I want. Now, the problem I have now is how far to the left I can go. Well, this is underground, but there is a view of the outside. So I think I can go to the left as much as I want. Yes, which is very nice. I think I can go to the left as much as I want. And I can go, I think I can take the wall space now. Because you see there is nothing else that is above. Well, apart from maybe, I mean, it's a bit useless because here there is nothing really. So yeah, maybe it's not a great idea. Maybe I can just go to the point where there is something. So basically here, right? And then I can take that point and bring it to me. Okay, so we cover, I mean, it's even too much, but right, it's even too much, but we cover this area. And now what? We also have this to cover. So I think that we can go, I mean, the less segments we have, the better. So I think that here what I want to do, I want to have one segment only that goes all the way, right? All the way until here. Here I start to have another problem again with the height, because as you can see, here we start to be in this garden. But maybe we can do it. It's so close. It's so close. It's so close. It's so close. Fuck. Okay, we can lower a bit the wall spline, I guess, but I mean there may be a small mistake there, but I don't think I care. Now we can go all the way. Oh wait, I can go all the way. This freaking city. But I think this technique may not be applicable in more complex cases. So like if you have a part of the city that goes up and down, I mean, if you have a, you know, something like this and is all underground, I think you will not be able to apply this because you will have to create 1 million sectors. Now, luckily we can because we don't have that many up and down. We have basically only 2, but the drum roll is ready. Will be tomorrow, Hula, the drum roll for this one. Because I still need to do the code that works on the Z. At the moment, we don't have a way to manage sectors vertically. So I need to add that code and then test this. But it seems to be pretty good though in this area because it's covering all of that, all of this. So probably with 2 sectors we can do it. Probably with 2 sectors. Because here we are covering this wall area. right? Until what the fuck display? What is this? What is this? Dung's Tapestry D3. It's not really in the right place, boys. There is a piece of tapestry that in theory was part of the dungeons, and for some reason now is here. I don't know. I think it was somewhere. I don't know, maybe here on the ground. I mean, for sure not. For sure not here. I have no idea how to put it in the right place. Also because these things have not been properly centered to 000, and so as you can see, they don't have the right. I will put it a bit closer, but still wrong, and then we will search it in the old game. I think we can go around and. But yes, it should be something like that, probably. Right, like. Probably inside of this. Probably if I move it just a bit more forward and I put it there, probably is in the right place. Maybe we can assume that. Z multiple values. GG. Something like this. The fact that it's moving is another problem, because the material is moving. But anyway. Okay, so we have this wall piece cut off, right? As we said. Now here there is nothing that I really need to capture. So, and also here I'm already below the other sector. Now two sectors can overlap. There is no problem. They can overlap. The first one will win, and it's okay. So even if you overlap, I don't care. The only thing I want to do, I want to be sure that I'm getting. We need to get to this place, right? Where do we need to get? I have no idea. Yes, we need to get to that place. So in reality, this one. In reality, this point should have the same horizontal coordinates than 2D coordinates than this guy, right? So if this guy is... Ah no, we said that we cannot copy them, fuck. So the only way is to look from above and try to match it. That's the only way. I mean, if I go top, the problem is if I go top, I don't see anything anymore. Unless I start to hide stuff, and I hope for the best. I think the idea was that this one should go here, right? And I think we already cut off. Let me try to add 1 point here and move it on top of this guy. Yeah, but so that they are kind of coincident. Why is doing these crazy tangents? I don't understand. Okay. Why by default is not doing just a normal tangent? But fine. Okay, so they are not perfect, but they are very, 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 very close. Okay, so if I hide everything else, one second, I hide everything and just keep these two things. Yes, I can. So just to understand if it makes any sense or not. So basically, one sector. What is this thing? What the fuck is this? What? Ah, yes, is the yeah. Spline, yeah, is correct. Is the farm? Is the farm where we have a lot of thingies. So basically, what we are saying is that there are two sectors. One is this one, which is the higher city, right? And is defined this way. And then there is the lower city, which is defined this way, right? This way. So one is this. Wait. One is, yeah. One is yeah, this one is a bit weird, but can we have this one go there or not? Or we did it for a reason? Why this one never disappears? I don't understand. Ah, because it was selected. So 1 and 2. Okay. 1 and 2. So these are defining the two sectors below the city. Okay, now, assuming that that's correct, which is probably not true, but for now we will assume that is, right? And I need to move those two splines. I need to move those two splines in the persistent level. Ah, they are already because I copied them from another spline. Okay, perfect. 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 Okay, so so if I go per spell, let me just check if it makes any sense. So this, but you see that, for example, this piece here is excluded. This piece here is excluded because if I start from that, but maybe I can expand this one a bit more. There is a piece that is excluded, which is this part here, because I went too straight. I went too straight. Why I didn't go this way? Why I didn't go this way instead of going this way? Was there something in between? Was there something in between? No. No, in theory I could move, if this is spline number 1, right? In theory I could move this spline. Probably I did it because I wanted to have the same X, right? But in theory I could move this one more to the right until we include this piece, for example. I don't know exactly why I didn't do it. Now we cannot really go too much, but because there is a house, because then we touch this, right? But we don't want to touch that. We want to arrive like here where I am now. Yes, we want to arrive like, I mean, if we could include this wall thingy, would be a bit better, but if we can include a wall corridor without touching houses. Well, this is going all below ground. It looks like, yes. Yes, I think it's going all below ground, so I think it's okay. I think is... Yes, but then I need to come this way, because otherwise here we touch this part of the city, right? So I think here I really need to cut off. Yes, here I have no other way. So I need to cut off and come up to here. Okay. So this one I think is already coincident, which I think is okay. These 2 points are already correct. Now I need to change. I need to change this one to be on top of the other one. So I think that the easiest is really that I go top. I do what I did before, so I hide everything and I show only the 2 splines like this. But now, can I orient myself? Can I orient myself? So this one is the number 1, and I modified it to be more to the south. Yes, exactly. So you know what? I think we can move. We can move this. We can delete this point probably. I think we can probably delete this, and we can move this to be exactly here. And this one we can delete as well, so that it will close exactly on top of this one. Yes, you know, because the polygon will close anyway, right? And will close exactly on that line. Let me save this, because if I lose it, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry if I lose it. Okay. Well, if it's only 2, I think it's not too bad. If it's real, there is only 2. I was thinking that we needed way more, but maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, let me check it again. Can I see the spline? Would be nice if the spline would have maybe a parameter for the sides or for the color, like to make it more evident. Editor, unselected spline segment color, editor tangent color, scale, visualization width. Ah, yes, thank you. It was here. There was actually the option to make it bigger. Okay, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so this one, right? This one. So this is number 1. Number 1 is taking the higher part of the city. So the important point is that this is not colliding with any houses. That's the only important point. That is not colliding. Wow, it's exactly at the level. Holy shit. It's exactly at the level of the ground, like millimeters. But anyway, our character is half a meter above, so seems to be good. Seems to be all good. So this one seems to be all good. Okay. And the second one, visualization, scale width 30, perfect. And the second one is then going, I don't know if you are cutting off something vertically, but hopefully not. Is it going this way? this way. Here we have a bit of a fuck up probably for a few centimeters, but we can probably make the polygon. We can add one more, you know, one more step of the polygon and probably will be perfect. One more. Should I do it? Okay, let's do it. Add spline point. So this point should go. This point should go exactly on this corner, basically. It is what we want. We want this guy to go pretty much on this corner. And then the other guy to go. Hey, the other guy. The other guy. The other guy. Hey, the other guy. I cannot push it more because otherwise we are inside the. So this area will be. If you go in this corner, it will be lit. This corner will be lit. Or I cheat a bit and I move this freaking hill. I can do it. I can do it. I can move this hill. I don't know what is here, but I think I can move. You know. Without any shame. Well, yes and no, because there is one piece with everything else. Fuck, I cannot do it. No, I cannot do it. Okay, it's fine. We will have a small fuck up in this area. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So and then this one goes, and then this one goes. Goes like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Is perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect, boys. Okay, I think we did it in the sense that we have the two splines. I think we have the two splines that are covering the whole underground, city, right? Okay, now. Now what I need to do. Now, the big issue is that associated to those two sectors, there is music and ambience. So it means that in the wall underground, I will have probably the same one, but I think it's fine. So I need to tag them. So I need to tag them with a sector name. And then we need two sector names, but it's very easy because underground we had a million sector names. So we had we really had a lot of stuff in terms of sector names. We had let me go in the database. So for example, we can use iDungeon, or we can use I think we have a Langs dungeon, really. Langs dungeon. Okay, let's use Langs dungeon for the first spline, right? Which is pretty much covering the dungeon for real. And then we will use the second one as the sewers. The only problem of this is that if you want to put some ambience that is like water dripping, we cannot do it in these two sectors, but it's okay for now. We can refine it later. So if I go on this actor and I add a new tag, right? And this one will be Langs dungeon, and then I go in the second one. Let me just write it down. So idle underground, two sectors underground. Do you think I can take the Z? I can take the Z of the spline, right? I don't need a Z in the database. I take the Z of the spline and I use the priority, and that's perfect. Okay, so underground, so 2 sectors underground. One is Lungs Dungeon, taking the Underlungs, the Underlungs Temple. Yeah, I just need to put this because there is a sequel file in theory. Well, in theory, in practice, is a sequel file. So one is a Lungs Dungeon, and the other one we can use the sewers. Now, the sewers are made by 1,000,000 sectors in the old game, but we can now use one sector only. So I think we can use which one you like. Sector pink, sector light green, sector yellow, sector purple, sector red, blue, orange, dark green, light blue. These were all separate sector before. I think we can just use one. I think we can go for sewers red. Sewers red. Okay, sewers red would be our guy. Sewers red covering the sewers and other parts. Okay, so sewers red. So the number 2 will be sewers red. Okay, now the idea is that we use the Z of the spline position. So the Z of the spline position. The Z of the spline position to say that is below that, okay, as the top of our sector. So everything below that Z is in our sector, okay? So that is the thingy. Everything below is in our sector, okay. Okay. So basically what we say is that when you want an underground, you have to use a spline. Basically, that's the point, right? That's the point. Okay. So so we need something like this. So we need update sector, set sector coordinates, use spline, priority 1, yes, where sector ID is equal to sewer red, so 31. And the safe location, I think the safe location should be the city. I think the safe location should be the same safe location of Idla. So if you fall down the map, you are going to be teleported above, and that's okay. Which is this one? So this one. And then update use spline for sector. We said Lungs Dungeon. What is it? Here, 44. With the same. Okay. 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 Now we need to put the Z. Okay, now we need, we need to execute this code. I mean, this SQL in our database, right? And that's it. And then we need, to put the Z thingy into our code somewhere. But I don't think it's very hard. I think it's fairly easy. Because we already have all the reasoning, right, on the spline. And we already have all the reasoning on the spline. Preload sector boundaries by spline. So I think I need to add to my sector structure the Z Otherwise, which will be valid only, for now, will be valid only if you use a spline. If not, it will not be valid. And it will anyway go by priority. So we need to be sure that IDLA level becomes 5, because now he has a subsector. Now he has a subsector. So IDLA Plaza is already 10. So okay, good. Because he already has a subsector. I don't know. Probably. Why is 10? But anyway, it's good. 10 is good. 10 is good. For the arena, because the arena is a subsector. Yeah, that's why it's 10. That's why it's 10. Okay, so we have a priority. No, sorry, we said the subsector have priority 5, huh? Priority 5, priority 5, priority 5, priority 5. Not 1. I mean, in this case will be the same, but I want to be sure to do it the proper way. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to store my Z somewhere here in the sector, right? So that he knows that he needs to use, okay. So my sector info needs to be, extended. So the same way we extended it for the spline, yes. If this is true, we are using a spline object in Unreal to determine the boundaries of the sector. This defines the sector segments, one for each edge of the polygon, polygon spline. Yeah, I didn't put any documentation there. I'm sorry. This old way to do things is super annoying. Let me remove it now. Okay. Now, because we had an old documentation system which was reading special tags in the code, and so those were special tags to tell the web producer, I think it was called Oxygen or something like that. It was like producing documentation for the code. Okay, anyway, we need the Z. Okay, so the Z is just a float and it's called spline Z boundary, right? It will be equal to 0. It will be better if it's invalid. No, but anyway, I will use it only when it's a spline, so we don't care. We don't care. It will never be wrong. Now we need to set it. Is it protected, this thing, or no? It's public. Thank you. So when we read the spline, right? We search the spline, we load the spline, we find the spline. My spline. So now we set create the last element as a segment. When we finish the points of the spline, which is here, set the Z boundary mandatory for splines. So we set sector spline boundary equal to my spline. I hope there is something like get actor location, but I'm sure there is. I mean, well, this is a spline component. of this actor, found actor, root component, find actor 0. Yeah, so it's find actor 0 actually. Find actor 0 is a bit risky, but okay, if num is equal to 0. Get actor location. So this one we take the Z. Okay, this one we have the Z. Yeah. So we have the Z. We have the Z of our spline, so we know where it's positioned, right? We know where it's positioned. Now, there is only one problem. That if I define the points of the spline in a different way compared to the position of the actor, it will never work. In the sense that you can, unfortunately, have a Z location of your actor which is not the same as the points. In this case seems to be, you see, it's already fucked up. No, it's not fucked up. But in theory I could move all the points of the spline with the actor being on another level, right? And in this case it's not the case, it's exactly at the right level, but we have to be careful on that, because if we do it wrong, let me see here, no, here is correct as well. Okay, in these two splines is correct, but in theory you can fuck it up, because you can have the splines, but okay. So now that we have the Z, which we put in this thing, and we recorded it, now when we do the check, so when we do a get sector by coordinates, now here we need to change this. Holy moly. We need to introduce the Z. I think I only have one way. This function is called in 1 million pieces, in 1 million places, I think. I need to add no, stupid me. The Z is already part of the position. What I'm saying, sorry, I'm going, I don't know, saying stupid things. The Z is here, is inside position, obviously. So, okay, so when we do the check, we already go by priority. So we will be taking our lower sector first, which is the one at the bottom. And we can check if inside a polygon. If he's inside a polygon, if odd, it shows that the point lies inside a polygon. So here we are inside a polygon, but for us it's not enough anymore. It's not enough anymore. Ah, fuck. But then the other spline, we need to move it up. I mean, the spline that we have in the other city, it will not work anymore if I now add the Z, because I think we placed it below the city. So it will not work unless we move it up. Okay, but it's fine. We can move it up. We can just move it up. So if points found blah blah blah, right? I will split it just for clarity. I could do it in one line, but I think it will be hard to read, so I do it in 2 lines. Check if we are within the given Z. This is applicable only to spline sectors. Okay. So if it's applicable only to the spline sector, okay. So here we do if my position dot Z is less or equal, let's say less, use a float anyway, less than less than whatever is sector, how do we call it, sector, holy moly, spline z boundary. So if my position is lower than that, then we are in that sector. Then we are in that sector. If not, we are not in that sector. Okay? I think it's done. I think it's done. In theory, it should work. Now, I don't know if it will, but in theory, it should work. Do you want to try? Do you want to try? Okay, we need to recompile this. So maybe the drum roll can be done, Hula, even tonight. I was thinking it was too late, but I mean, I'm a bit at the limit, but I think one test I'm gonna do it. Probably will not work, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, it's rebuilding. It's rebuilding, my friends. Is rebuilding, is one failed. Compiler limit reached. I don't know, bro. You compile again and it works. Don't forget to keep your torch, yes. Okay, one succeeded. Okay, I think we can just go in normally without any debug, anything, and just see. We just do /pause and we see what happens, right? Well, in theory, we could check if the Z is loaded, but let's just do a quick check, okay? If it doesn't work, then we go and check more. The only thing is that I need to be sure that I loaded in the database the priority properly and the location properly and the user spline. And I named the spline the proper way. Yes, but I think I did it. I think there are kind of good chances. Okay, the server already crashed. Perfect. The server already crashed. Why? Error sector Idla Tavern with missing spline in persistent level. I fucked up the numbers, huh? I fucked up the numbers. But it's a good check, eh? It's a good check that he's telling us. I fucked up the numbers. What do you mean Idla Tavern? Idla Tavern. Ah, because it was a test. Fuck, I used exactly the same number. I cannot believe it. Wait. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. There is just some mess in the database because I did a test a long time ago and I created a tavern sector But why the tavern sector has uses splines, I have no idea. Idla Tavern is number 4, okay. Why Idla Tavern has... It doesn't have use splines. It does not have use splines. Why? So why is giving that error? I mean, the two sectors where we set the splines are Sewers Red, number 31, use a spline, and Lang's Dungeon, where the fuck is it? Dungeon, number 44, which has use spline. So what is going on? What is going on? It seems that when he's reading the sectors, there is something not correct. There is something not correct here. Sector with missing spline. If found actor is different than num. If sect is bounded by spline. Bro. If sector is bounded by spline. Yes. Preload sector. Why now we have this problem? I mean, why now? That I don't have a lot of time. Why now? I mean, we didn't change Idla Tavern. We didn't change that sector. So why now that one is giving issue? Why? Why is saying that another sector is using spline? I don't understand. So, which by the way, I think is one of the first ones, right? Number 82. Now he's starting with number 82. So let me just see if we set spline to false. 1 second. Where do we set this spline thingy? We set the spline thing. Where do we set the spline thing here? Here. If result row counter row second equal to use spline, then a new sector is bounded by spline equal to true. Right? Okay, so go inside of this. Go inside of this, and we are in what? We are in sector Sewers Red. Perfect. Perfect. And now we are in sector Amnedair. Perfect. And then we are in sector Lang's Dungeon. Perfect. And then we are in sector Akka Central. And then we are in sector Idla Tavern. What the fuck? What do you mean? Bro, Idla Tavern does not have that. Where is it? Idla Tavern. Oh fuck. It has. Why? It was a test. Fuck. I don't need this thing now. We had a thingy. Let's set it at 000 for now, okay? Let's set it at 000. There was some bad data in the database, that's why. So we had a so let's skip this one. We will skip it completely. No, I cannot. I need to restart it. There's no way. Okay, but now I think it's good. Now I think it's good. Sectors. Hello, who joined? Who joined? Let me check. Hello, Valorant Highlights. Thank you for the subscription on YouTube. Assuming that you are not a bot. If you are a bot, it's okay. I don't know, the name is kind of it's kind of bot-like, but not a bot. Okay, no, because sometimes there are, you know, YouTube channels that are subscribing just to be able to post some comments in the videos, and then they are posting links to their own channel or to some scam site or whatever, right? But considering that you are not a bot, is pretty good. Brijesh. Hello, Brijesh. Hi. Welcome. Are you using Unreal Engine? Okay, so we log in. The server loaded okay. The server loaded okay, right? Server loaded okay. So now we teleport ourselves to the main city. Teleport! It's time for teleport. We teleport ourselves to the main city just because we can, which is here. We set the time today just because we want to see something. Right? Okay, so now in theory the sewers are below me. Right? The sewers are below me. So if I do /pause, I'm in Hydla Plaza, which is correct. Okay? But it is not the best test, because the best test is to go inside the sewers. Never been a better place. Let's go inside the sewers. What is better than a nice sewers place, huh? Okay, let me go down a bit, because, you know, we have a cutoff which I think is about at this point. So let me help myself a bit, okay? Let me help myself a bit. But for sure we have the city above us, okay? So now we do /pause. Fuck. Hydla Plaza. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't work, boys. It did not work. That's a pity. Why? Okay, let me go down a bit more. It didn't work, boys. He's still saying Hydla Plaza. He's still saying Hydla Plaza. He's still saying Hydla Plaza. My height, I mean my Z is 8,317. 8,317, which definitely is lower than the 11,000. So or this area is not covered, but I don't think so. Or the Z check is not working. The Z check is fucked. Here we are inside sewers red. Here is saying sewers red. So somehow, let me check the priority. Let me just check the priority of sewers red and Hydla Plaza. But for sure they are correct. For sure they are correct. sewer thread priority 5. Okay, priority 5. Idla Plaza priority 10. Okay, so yeah, so definitely it should be checked before, right? So why I mean, here is working, but there is not working. Now looking at the level, here we are here. Oh, I closed the editor. Fuck. Boys, I think it's partially working, okay? Unfortunately, yeah, it's not dark because the fact that it's dark is another piece. First I needed to be in the right sector, so to be sure that the sector is considered properly, and then I can add the darkness in the same way that we added to the Death Realm or in other sectors, right? So the solution is in 2 steps. But here is saying red, right? Here is saying red. So actually, somewhere, somehow it works, but not always. So we need to understand why. Maybe it's a problem of Z. Maybe the Z of that one has not been loaded properly. Maybe I'm too high or too low or too whatever. What the fuck? Here is saying black flame. Here is saying sewers red. You see, all this part is correct. Sewers red. So all this part is correct. There is something going on at the levels above. Maybe just the Z. Maybe just the Z position, huh? May just be the Z position. Fuck, I need to fix all these gaps. There are 1 million gaps. You see these gaps on the walls? Yeah, here is saying sewers red all the time. You see, sewers red. And we are here compared to the city. So if I do now position, it's saying Idla Plaza. So it works. It works partially. I don't know exactly why, but it's working partially, right? It's working partially. Can I directly jump from After Effects to Unreal Engine? Blender seems confusing to me. Well, they are doing very different things. So I think that for Unreal you need you need anyway a 3D modeling tool. Now, if you can, your question is if you can import After Effects models into Unreal. I don't know. Can After Effects export FBX? If you can export FBX, yes. But After Effects export FBX. It seems that there is some exporting FBX from After Effects. Yes, it seems that there is an export in FBX. That's the only thing that you need. So to export from After Effects to FBX, and FBX then is compatible with Unreal. Now, it's not exactly that easy because it depends on what you need to import. If you need to import characters or maybe just static geometry or lights, or I mean there are so many subcategories of this, but unfortunately, why became night in 1 second? Holy fuck. Because now I'm in the black flame sector. Okay, it seems that the black flame sector has the wrong coordinates then. He has the wrong coordinates for sure. I have to go and check them because it seems that here we have a transition to Black Flame, which I don't think is the case. Yeah, you see the transition of sectors? Anyway, guys, I think I need to go because it's already pretty late, but I think we did good. So I say goodbye and we will see each other again tomorrow, okay? See you, boys! I will see you tomorrow. If you are new, click on follow on Twitch, click on subscribe on YouTube, and also if you want to support us as an indie game developers, you can go to Patreon and patreon.com/planeshift, and you can join the 53 people that are already sponsoring us and supporting us because they want to see a game free on Linux, on Mac, on Windows, and they want to see this game completed. So if you want the same, you can help us that way. See you, boys! Bye bye. I like to say bye like this. Bye bye. We don't have an Instagram, but we have a Discord and we have a Facebook page and we have a Twitter account, but we don't use Instagram because Instagram can be used only through mobiles and it's so annoying. I mean, I want to post pictures like this, and posting a picture like this on Instagram is a mess. And so I'm not using it. I'm not using it. Bye bye. The music.